What's up, guys? Welcome to another live session. Today is January 9th, 2020. I just fixed it. Apparently, I had to go into Firefox settings and turn off hardware. Quick Google fix, and we're good to go. But that's weird. I never had to do that before. But we're good. We're good. So, today's Thursday, so tomorrow is NFP, and so we have to be a bit smart about what trades we take. We're currently in EURUSD, which we'll talk about, but today's fundamental schedule is pretty clear. We do have some Canadian stuff at 3 p.m., but other than that, from 3 p.m. we're pretty good, and then some Aussie retail sales, and they're looking to be better than expected, so keep that in mind. And tomorrow we have NFP as well as some CAD and unemployment data as well. Starting at 9:30 a.m. So I did say let me bring out the chat and let everyone know the stream's back. I did say that we'll ride out EURUSD, take a kind of a swing approach for the first week back, just because of the US Iran stuff. So I think that was a good tactic we did, because things did get chaotic on Tuesday. And then we do have NFP, so it is the first week back. We have a whole 11 months to trade. Stream is back on, and I'll get to everyone's comments. Hey Jenny, yeah, instead of crypto, we could definitely look at USD, CAD, and pound yen. I just look at them because, if there's no pair recommendations, it's something else that we can look at. So yeah, we can look at USD and CAD and pound yen today. Yeah, we'll look at that. Your USD first take profit was hit yesterday, and now we're kind of making our way down to our second take profit. So currently we're up around 45 pips. Pretty good for the first week back. But NFP's tomorrow, so it's this week wasn't ideal to trade. Who knew that US and Iran would really go off like that? But nothing much to say about a setup that's in profit. Just let it play out. Obviously, our next set of confluence is down here, so we're just gonna let it drip down to here, and we should be there by tomorrow. If not, we can just let the NFP results dictate where it goes, because we do have our stops at entry, so it is a risk-free trade anyways. But we'll see how that goes. I did want to talk about USD yen. I might want to short it today. Let's see how it's looking right now, but it's coming up to some resistance. And if you remember last time, we shorted from this twice. We shorted from the same resistance level twice, had two solid setups, and we're coming pretty close to it. If not, we're actually reacting to it right now. And that resistance is at 109.600. You can kind of see on the 4 hour, it's been a pretty solid resistance. And what we're gonna wait for is maybe another push on the hourly time frame, to at least touch the resistance, and then look for some sort of rejection like we have had in the past. Maybe a bearish candle. So for example, a shooting star, a bearish candle right here, inverted hammer, some sort of thing like that, a bearish engulfing. Any of those candles will do, and we can take a short down. And obviously for this trade, so for this trade we can take an intraday approach. So from this trading range down to here. So you can see we've had multiple instances from this level down to somewhere here. So around 40 pips away. And other times we did have a full out push all the way down. So let's take a look at the daily and see what levels we can target. So the daily, you can kind of see just the overall pattern for USD yen. It was first in this ascending channel, so let me actually extend that over. It'll actually come into play. So we first had this ascending channel back in the later part of 2019. We broke out, and this whole these 4 days of bulls was probably due to the US Iran stuff. The dollar just rocketed up, and so it's come up into resistance right now, and we're going to look for signs of rejection from this resistance before we short. You never just want to sell off at resistance and buy at support. You want some sort of confluence. So this setup can have an amazing risk reward. Just because we're shorting from a nice key level, you can have a possibility of a 2.69 risk reward ratio setup on this trade. So we'll see what happens in the next hour or two, but it's definitely a setup I want to enter and be out of by the NFP, but looking pretty good. So the next hour candle we'll know what's up. I'll let everyone know on Telegram, and the stop will probably be around 50 pips, 45 pips. So not bad at all, and I'll let you guys know on Telegram the take profit levels, but the first one probably be 109.340. The next one will be 109.100, followed by 108.870, and then 108.400, and then finishing it off at 108.193. So multiple levels to target to. It depends where USD yen wants to go. The short trade could end here, or could even end down here. So pretty solid. And let me actually see what the NFP. So it's looking like they're gonna add less jobs than last month. Unemployment will stay the same. Average hourly earnings will be increased by 0.1%. So it's looking like a mixed NFP. Obviously, these results can differ to the actual release. But yeah, hopefully for our trades, for Euro USD, we want dollar strength, and then for USD yen, we want some weakness. So if we're out of Euro USD by the end of the day, maybe Australian session, we could kind of pray or hope for USD weakness tomorrow. So our USD yen short could benefit from that. But USD yen, simple, clean setup. I hope everyone is having a great morning. And let's take a look at pound dollar, because we were eyeing a setup for some time now. So let's just take a look, and yeah, it's actually gearing up for a short, very close. We just need to get below this trend line, so we're coming there. We were here around yesterday morning, and we're kind of pushing down. So just to close below this trend line could probably take us lower. Back down to maybe 1.2300. But the setup is imminent. Probably something we can tackle next Monday and Tuesday. But it's definitely getting there. It just took forever. Let's also take a look at gold. So gold is also getting there to be a short. So this is the initial long idea, and obviously this is 400 pips. Stops you should have, if you took this trade. I made sure no one took this trade, but if you're feeling crazy and you decided to take this trade, we know that once you get to 25 to 30 pips, stops are moved to entry. So you should have obviously done that, but I told you guys not to take this trade. Anyways, we do have a short coming up. We're coming back into this region, this blue region right here, and if you had a closure below the blue resistance region, right at 1531, we're in for a treat. Like this kind of treat. 2.73. Pretty solid, because I've said this before, this resistance that we're even talking about, and oh my god, look at that weekly candle. That is so bearish. And this just screams fundamentals, and it was, right? It was because of the U.S. Iran stuff. But if gold can get squeezed below this blue resistance region, we're in for a nice treat. And this resistance region is very solid. We spoke about this on Monday. You can see it was the very first support we used when we went to make the new historic highs for gold at almost 1900. So that's why it's holding pretty packed. Even the monthly is looking kind of bearish now. So it's pretty much up to the sellers to squeeze price all the way down below the blue resistance region. and we can take shorts at least down to 1453. So potential for 800 pips short a swing trade. Obviously, the intraday could be a lot more reserved and conservative, but if we get a closure below here, we can definitely target 15, 13, and then maybe even a psych level of like 1500. So that's what I see for gold, and this is gonna be for next week. I don't see it starting to play out now unless Trump says something ridiculous, but that's what I see for gold. I'm trying to fix this so you guys can see the setup. Boom. So yeah, that's what I see. Definitely keep an eye out for Monday. I'm gonna let you guys plot down these levels, so I'll start moving my mouse. Well, potential setup, nothing yet, but it's just a rough guideline. Monday we can definitely see where it's at, make tweaks. Who knows what happens over the weekend? Maybe Trump does end up striking back. So you never really know with Trump. So I'm not gonna be too confident in his initial word about the U.S.-Iran attack, but we'll see. So gold, we're looking pretty good. We already have a potential to short gold swing, and USD yen pending. So some nice swing setups to start off the year, and I think that's good. The intraday setups might be a bit swayed with the whole U.S.-Iran stuff, but definitely solid. Also, USDCHF, we did speak about that, so I'm going to take a look at that before I look at pound yen and USD CAD, if you do not mind. So Firefox, oh god, Firefox. This was not the chart we looked at. Yes, this was perfect. Okay, so USD yen, we wanted to long this, and okay. So we are very close to actually getting the long entry on this trade. So if you guys don't know, USD CHF and EURUSD are inverses. So as one goes up, the other one goes down. And so since we're shorting EURUSD, we could have the chance to long USD CHF. And this week we were waiting for a bullish closure above 0.97400, and we're currently attempting to do that. So it took some time. It took pretty much the whole week, and so if you look on the 1 hour, we do want this on the 4 hour, so a 4 hour bullish closure. But on the 1 hour, you can see that we did close above it. But this is why I like to use a 4 hour time frame, because you can have a lot of mixed results and kind of get faked out. But the 4 hour will show you this is not a bullish closure at all. This is just a hammer. And so a bullish closure is a bullish candle like this one. So if we had this candle above this level, we'd be good to go. And so we do have that possibility if we can just squeeze back up, and we can have, so you can see these are the highs we've made, and so we want a candle like this to be above this level. Okay, a candle like this above this level, 0.97444. If we get that, we're good to go long, and that's what we're going to be waiting for. Actually add an alert, and I'll keep an eye on this. So crossing up, and I'll get it to send me an email. Okay, cool. So we're getting there, but that's what I mean. The 4 hour time frame is the time frame I want you guys to focus on when I say a bearish or bullish closure. That's the one with the least amount of noise, and it's going to really minimize the fake outs that you get. So as long as EURUSD continues to drop, we will get that closure. It just depends on how early. We have around I think 30 hours left in the trading week, 31. So and most of it's probably going to be consolidation until the NFP comes out, but I'm praying we do get that so we can squeeze out some last minute pips. But it is USD CHF, so it does move a small amount per pip compared to the pound pair, so it's nothing that we can just rush in to enter anyways. Definitely something solid for next week, and that's when things will probably pick up. So USD CHF, we're getting there. Now let's look at pound yen. I think we should actually clean up our chart for pound yen and just start from the beginning, because we haven't looked at it since the start of since 2019. So to get a nice clean overview of pound yen after all the Brexit stuff, after the holidays and the Iran tax. So we're gonna start off on the monthly. Go ahead and draw our key zones. So one zone is right here. Very nice clean support zone. You can see wicks down here dating back to 1995. Another visit in 09. A couple more visits in the early part of 2010s. We had a visit in 2015 and a recent visit in 2019. So solid support region on the monthly. We can also draw another as well. So somewhere right here is good. And we can see this other support region also acts as a resistance. So support all the way here, support, resistance, support, resistance, 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 resistance. So pretty solid. Can we draw any trend lines? Yeah, we could draw a trend line. I'm not sure how significant it will be, but we can draw this trend line. I don't know why it's this color. It's usually black. Perfect. So is there any channels that we can draw ascending, descending? Not really. There's also another trend line we can draw on the bottom. It's a very sneaky trend line, but it's still a trend line. Okay, like so. So we have two trend lines, okay? Kind of in like a pennant squeeze pattern. The downtrend is dating back to 07. The miniature uptrend is from 2012. So cool. Alright, this seems good. Now let's head over to the weekly, get our weekly levels down, see if there's any channels, trend lines that we can draw there. So the weekly channel, the weekly time frame is kind of clean. Especially since we drew our two zones. You can kind of see what we're working with here. So right now, obviously, since we're coming off this zone right here, we're probably looking for shorts. And when you get to the smaller time frames, you can always adjust these zones. So I'm actually going to make an adjustment to this one just to cover the area of most activity. You can see just moving it down, you can cover areas of greater activity. So that's fine. And then when you get to the weekly, you can start drawing your weekly level. So a weekly level would probably be one right here, a nice weekly support at 139,800. Weekly resistance, you can draw one right here. You can see, because this resistance zone is so big, it spans over 100 pips, but we can see there's a particular level where there's resistance and reactions that we have. So that's the one we're going to be keeping an eye on, and that's 147.400, right around there. So that seems all fine and dandy. Can we draw a trend line? We can actually draw one right here, so you can see this tool. So you can draw a trend line, our first touch, our first, second, third, and then we had a breakout, and now we're closing down below. So now we have kind of an idea of where pound yen's trying to go, and we can also draw a channel. Okay, so if we connect, this bottom and this bottom, you can kind of see we're in a descending channel. Okay, all the channel is connecting the highs of a trend and the bottoms, and this is a descending channel, so we're moving downward. And so just from the monthly and the weekly, I do have a short bias on pound yen, but obviously the daily time frame and the 4-hour has to confirm that. So this is looking good. As I go through this, Janny, let me know what your bias is on the pair, and we can probably look for the same thing. So looking pretty clean. I'm gonna go ahead into the daily. And so the daily, and on the daily time frame, you can start drawing your daily levels. So our daily resistance seems pretty good. Our resistance zone and this line covers that well. We can draw a daily support right here. You can see why it's a nice support. It's covering, rebound from here, rebound from here, rebound from here, rebound from here. Perfect. And you can look, when we did come back down, we came up and retested that level. So I like that level, and that is 143.755. And so things are starting to become a little bit more clear for pound yen. You can kind of see a trading range between this level and this level. You can see whenever we close below 143.755, we do make a push down to 139.780. Okay, you can see that happen here. You can see that happen here. You can see that happen here, and you can see that happen here. And now obviously there's degrees to this. Sometimes we get the full move plus more. Other times we might get 70% of the move and a rebound. This was a full move down plus more. This was just a move down and then a rebound. So we can obviously see what we're targeting here, and so we're gonna actually zoom in. And so right now, based off where we're at, and then the trend line that we're at, we can see we broke out of the trend line, came back below, came back up to retest this previous support, got a rejection, and now we're floating right above this trend line. So this trend line is acting as a dynamic support for pound yen right now. So what I'd want for shorts is for pound yen to get squeezed all the way below back this trend line, and something bearish, something like this candle was good, but definitely not this. We want a fat bearish candle to signify going lower. Alternatively, what we can do is wait for pound yen to come back to this resistance or this previous support and look for shorts there. So let's see the 4-hour and see. So yeah, the 4-hour can tell you right away. This has been acting as a pretty good resistance right here and right here. And so look for another rally up here, a rejection, and we can go short. But this is why swing trading is much easier, because you can technically enter swing short off the weekly time frame, but we want the best entry, and we don't really want to hold trades too long. So I'm gonna just plot this level down, this kind of support that we've created, and so any rejection here, we could have a nice intraday setup. Back down to this hourly support. Very simple. Over 180 pips that could be made just from this setup, and that's what we'll be looking for. And that's an intraday setup. In terms of long term and swing, I do have a bearish bias on pound yen. Okay, you can see the weekly time frame. If this weekly candle, the one we're looking at right now, that's actually a bull candle, if it gets squeezed below this trend line and turns red, as in a bearish candle, then we can have a long-term short opportunity, down to here. Okay, and so that's what I see right now. I'm just trading with the trend. I don't want to be counter trend trading, especially for volatile pairs such as pound yen. Let me know if that's what you saw. Connection is breaking up constantly. It's green right now. Refresh the portal and click play again. Yeah, OBS it does this. I don't know why. Today's the first time it ever gave me a blank screen, but I'm getting green on my end. It might be YouTube. We'll see. If it's still breaking up, this session will be available in the portal within the next hour or two to watch. So you should still be able to watch it, but yeah, I'm still seeing green. Anyways, let's go on to USD CAD. Hopefully this setup is what you see as well, Janny. Taking a look at USD CAD. And USD CAD might have a potential to long. I'm just removing some of these levels, as there are take profit levels from when we shorted, which was also a level, this one right here. Perfect. So we already have a clean chart from the beginning of the year, 2020. And Gany, I do see a potential to long USD CAD. Like I did have a potential to long USD CHF. Those two are correlates, so if one goes up, the other one as well. And the entry might be now, actually, because we're actually just targeting this trading range right here. You can see like that. So we're just targeting from here to here, from here to here, from here to here. So since we're right here, we're above that, that support. We could have a rally up to here. It could be cut off halfway, but that's still a nice chunk of pips that we can make. So let's actually take a look at the daily and then the 4-hour, see if there's an entry. Okay, let's do it. I'm excited. Let's actually enter this trade. Let's enter. Let me plot down the levels, but I'm excited to enter because you can see whenever we've had a bullish closure above this level, we did make a rally. Bullish closure above, we did make a rally. Bullish closure above, we made a rally. Let's look to the left. A bullish closure above, we did make a rally. So I'm pretty confident that we could get a nice winning trade out of this. Let's check the 4-hour. Thank you for mentioning this setup, by the way, Jenny. Yeah, so what do you think about, glad we have the same bias for GJ. What do you think about USD CAD? I'm thinking about longing USD CAD actually. This current candle is pretty suspect. I kind of wish it was closing a bit more bullish. But since our stop would be so tight, I'm willing to roll the dice on this one. Definitely worth attempting. Let's actually just plot. So right now it's kind of getting squeezed down, but we can give it a go. Or I could just wait for the hourly closure and I'll let you guys know on Telegram. But I mean, our stop loss for this trade will be pretty damn conservative. Let's see how many pips. Our stop loss would be around 70 pips. It can definitely be tighter. But our payoff is over 220 pips. So obviously a 3.52 risk reward setup for USD CAD long. It's the first week back. Tomorrow's NFP. Today is Thursday. Do I want us entering this trade? Let me see if there's something I could. Is there anything that's telling me not to enter? Let's see. If you draw a trend line. Okay, so we did get a break outside of a trend line. So, I mean, it is looking bullish. It is looking pretty bullish. This current candle is looking suspect. Let's take a look at the 1 hour. Mm, 1 hour is not that bad. This candle might tell us there might be a potential retrace back to this level, this support, and we can look for reaction there. Yeah, the date is still pretty early. I think we can afford seeing what happens with this next 1 hour candle or the next. So, let's see. It's 11:36 right now. You guys should all be on my Telegram channel. Let's see. At 1:30, basically 2 hours from now, 1:30, I'll let you guys know. I'll either send out a signal with the take profit level as an entry, or I'll tell you guys, let's pass on USD CAD. But it is definitely there to take, and it's a pretty high probable setup. But I just want to be careful. So USD CAD long. Let me see if that's what you agree for. Potential USD CAD long. I will send out a signal on Telegram at 1:30 p.m. Eastern in case the trade is valid. So patience pays. We know that from last year. A lot of times being patient has saved us a lot of money and has also made us a lot of money. So we're gonna keep that same energy for this year and continue doing what works. But definitely the setup's there. Since it was a pretty significant move, there might be some retrace, so we could probably get a better entry here and get a tighter stop loss. So definitely a pending setup, but it looks good. The weekly definitely looks good. So I'm glad you mentioned that, Jenny, and we'll see. So EURUSD, it will continue to drop. USD CHF is pending, and it's imminent. So maybe 1-2 hours we'll also know about USD CHF. Gold is probably going to be ready for next week, and the same for pound dollar. And so that would be that. We don't always have to look at crypto at the end of the session. I only do it because there's not any peer recommendations. I just go to crypto. Nice change of pace. But if there's any miners, you want me to look at, even exotics, I'm more than happy to look at. So just keep the recommendations coming. Let me just check the stream health. It is all green. So I think it might be YouTube or OBS, but the stream health is green. The stream speed is definitely fast enough. But I'll try to figure out what the cause was. With that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow for another live session. Tomorrow we have NFP at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, so we'll be discussing the results and what they imply during the session. So stay tuned for that. Tomorrow is also a free session, so if you have a friend, refer them. We have a really nice referral program. If you refer a friend, I think you get a free month for as long as they stay with you. If you refer 2 friends, you get I think 2 free months for as long as they stay. So if you have any trader buddies that could benefit from these sessions, not only the sessions but our signals, we have 5 other signal providers holding it down. So just go ahead and refer them. It's going to be a free session tomorrow. It'll be on YouTube as well as our portal. So with that being said, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Please be safe. NFP is looming. And yeah, so happy trading and have a great day.